What's going on, guys? Welcome to Metaverse Monday, episode 2. And I am your host, Christos.
Yo, and I'm co-host Blue Tsunami.
What's going on, guys? We want to welcome you guys back yet again. This is something that we are adamant about doing, bringing to the community more knowledge, more empowerment, more insight in regards to the metaverse, crypto, and NFTs. And today we got a very special guest, but we also got some very, crazy topics that we want to talk about today. And just to start it off, Vince, man, like what's been going on in your world, man? Like what you've been really peeping into in regards to the community as far as like, what's been going on?
Oh, man, the crazy thing that I've been peeping, just kind of want to we're not going to get too far into it, but crypto founders coming up dead. Is it a conspiracy or is it, is it a theory? Why do you think it's happening? Me personally, I feel like people are realizing how much power they have in this space.
Man, so, I think it could be, honestly, I think it can be a number of things. I think it could be internal. I also think it can be, a power move for people who don't want to, give up power. So that's just my insight. I think with decentralization, for those of you who don't know what decentralization is, but decentralization is just really an organization. Can't even necessarily say organization, but a group of people who come together that don't necessarily own the particular thing, So it's like a decentralized, the best example would be a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. That's basically what it means to be decentralized, meaning that you have no sole authority that runs and, does everything. So I think, like with that happening, taking that power from, especially finances, it's like, come on, bro, that's a big deal. And, a lot of people ain't having that, man. They like, yo, you touching our money? Nah. So that's why I don't know.
It's for sure a big deal. I'm gonna take it a step further, and I can say it might even be something within the organization, because if you've noticed, it's all of the co-founders, not just the founders. So maybe I need to watch my back.
Man. and that's how I feel, man, where I'm just like, yeah, like it's kind of hard to say it's an outsider or it's an insider. We don't really know, because that's why I'm like, that's the whole point of it, where it's like, hey, it could be either or. Definitely can be.
And the crazy part about it, if you realize they're not violent murders, I'll leave it for the audience, to really dive into that, but they're not violent murders. They're more so on the subtle side. So I don't know. We'll see what goes on with that in the near future. And hey, rest in peace to everybody else who passed on. But hype community. What? Oh, this is a real big part, right? A lot of people look at NFTs as just like a hype project or hype piece. Chris, how do you feel about hype surrounding NFTs personally?
I think it's definitely needed for a successful NFT project. I do believe at some point there has to be a little bit of hype around what you're doing, some type of noise or traction. But I don't like it in the initial starting phase as much. And only reason I say that is because I've been around hype projects. I've been involved in hype projects before. Of course, they weren't my own projects, but with that being said, I've seen how when you lose momentum, you also can lose trust, and I think that's what's most important when you are establishing an NFT project in the early stages, is establishing trust. I don't think that NFTs as a technology is going anywhere. And I definitely don't think that investors are going anywhere, So for me, I feel like the most important step in stepping into the NFT space is like, creating some hype, but not being, too gassed up by the hype where, you start over promising and things like that. So I think that's something that Aboard Milo has definitely done a good job on, is, really just creating our own momentum, not focusing too much on the hype, but allowing the hype to come to us. So
one thing about Aboard Milo that's so special, that I think a lot of people are starting to realize is that, like you just said, everything is organic. You
Yeah.
know, we're not. If you go look at our IG, all of our followers are real. That's why we're steadily growing. We don't buy followers. We don't pay for influencers or anything like that. Everybody who genuinely comes on to our Metaverse Mondays, our talks, and really just shares the space with us, they genuinely rock with the program.
Yeah.
And well, I think what a lot of people get mixed up at in the hype is not knowing the difference between good and bad hype, because
Yeah.
there is a difference,
Hmm.
right? You know, we can compare it to shoes, right? You have collectors, then you have hype beasts. So you have people who buy shoes not because they like it, not because they really want it, but because they know they can make $1 off of it. And that's the hype that you want to stay away from, the projects that you generally want to stay away from. Then you have hype that's generally surrounding a good cause, and that's the momentum that ABM is building. Because again, we're here to teach, educate, and have fun, and I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm a, a term, that floats around very often in this community is paper hands. It's definitely a lot of paper hands floating around in the NFT community. And for people who want to know what a paper hand is, a paper hand is somebody that's basically just trying to make a quick dollar. And that's
mm-hmm.
just something that we want to stay away from with our project. And that's why people ask us, like, why are they priced at, 999 Matic? And it's because we want to stay away from paper hands. We don't want people just buying up our collection because we priced them at, $20-$30. It's not that kind
Yeah,
of
man.
project, So most importantly, we really want to be able to create value and create something that, paper hands wouldn't, even look at. So that's why we say, everything that we doing is organic and we just want to keep it that way. So that's really our
It's
goal.
gotta be. It's gotta be. If you buy the 999 Matic, you're a collector. And I promise you, if you collect that, if you get that phase one, you're gonna reap so many blessings and benefits, just unbelievable. Just trust the process. That's all we can say is just trust the process, because we're definitely working behind the scenes to make sure that you guys are accommodating well and very well, I should say.
But another thing in this
Uh,
space too is I feel like, you have to know your voice, you know. And I
yeah.
think that's something that we do as a project is like really just knowing our voice, knowing who you're speaking for, and I think that's really what's important. It's like knowing who you speaking for in this space, it's not as many African American people or Latino people. If there are, I'm not saying that there isn't, but there aren't as many as successful ones as there are other people that I could see in this space. So I feel like for us, being a part of that minority, it's really essential for us to be a voice for young Black futurists and creatives in this space. So that's another thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta really think about it. Who are the main people that are in this space? Unfortunately, gamblers and people who are privy to their knowledge.
Yeah.
It, it's just one of those things where uh, we see where our niche comes in at here at Abora Milo, and our goal is to expand on that. We have so many young creatives in all of the minorities, right? But if we don't bring this knowledge to everybody's attention, uh, like Christos always says, man, we say this pretty commonly. The difference between uh, animals and humans is technology, intellect. So the way they win a war, technology. The advances on life, technology. You have to know what technology is about to succeed in this space and this world. So uh, if you're not privy to it, then you're gonna get left behind because it's changing.
Yeah. And that's
It's
something that's rapidly
definitely gonna
happening.
change.
Like right now, it's definitely a good time uh for people of color, young Black creatives, just people in general, I should just say. Don't let me limit it, but to really hone down on this time to be able to learn it, and figure out whatever your skill is going to be in this new age movement, the technology that we that we're entering into. And the thing is, we're not saying that, real world values or things like that are going to fade. We're just saying that there's a slow integration or a digital renaissance that's happening right now within society. And we just have to acknowledge it. I could speak about it from a spiritual point of view, but I'd rather not. I want to keep it more, mundane for y'all. But
Yeah, because
but from
we're gonna
oh,
be here for hours, man. We can talk about that.
if we touched on it from that, yeah, and I mean, but that's what really makes it unique, is even when we be able to bring these things into person, it could be a lot more interesting, even than what we're doing right now on the screen. So yeah, let's jump into this next point. Black creatives, we really want to talk about the Black creatives that's coming up, people that's doing projects, you know what I'm saying? And one in specifically that we want to talk about is our special guest, Mop Head Bop. I have definitely been a long time fan of his work. For those of you who may not know him, he is a graphic designer. He has been graphic designing for a long time now. He's definitely done some work for me in the past. But one reason that I really wanted to bring him onto our show is because I believe that a lot of young Black designers, man, that's coming up, creatives, graphic designers, clothing designers, all kind of designers. That's what we really want to focus on Aboard Milo, is really being able to bring people that's doing stuff in the real world to this space, and being able to, vocalize what they've been doing. So that's something that, we definitely want to be able to continue to build upon on Metaverse Mondays, is bringing on young Black creatives and really just being able to shine that light.
He's also got a fire NFT project himself that is pretty dope and pretty catchy. So definitely be on the lookout for him. Man, he's a great artist all around, and he surrounds himself with other Black creatives too. We'll get into that when we bring him on, but mostly everybody from Detroit. If you're from Detroit, you know the slogan. You more than likely, even if you're not from Detroit, you know the slogan: Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah,
So
definitely. But
yeah,
we definitely about to bring on our next guest, Mop Head Bop. If you didn't get a chance, man, to check out his work, I would just stop this whole thing and just go check out his work right now, because he just that dope,
man, it's
man.
crazy.
So hang tight. We about to bring on Mop Head Bop, y'all. Give us 2 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. I got special guest Mop Head Bop chiming in today, y'all. It's a blessing having this brother on. For those of you who don't know who this man is, I'm gonna just let him give his own formal introduction, man. This dude is, man, a man of many talents. So I'm just go ahead and let him take the floor.
What's going on, people? I'm Mop Head Bop. Everybody knows me by that. My real name is Derek. I'm an artist in the Detroit City. Graphics, 3D printing, animation. I did a couple NFT projects, and I just did a lot of like promotion work and packaging and design work for people in the city, and that's pretty much what I do, and that's me. Glad to be on.
Man, we are blessed to have you on here, man. Like I was just telling my partner, I'm like, bro, this dude been doing graphic design for me forever. I was like, man, this is like one of the first dudes that was doing graphic designs that I could think of. You know what I'm saying? So just really being able to bring you on right now, man, it's special, man, especially to me, because you definitely helped me bring visions, into fruition through your talents and skills, man.
It's crazy because I actually I took a look on your page and everything, and I seen, man, your artwork is dope first and foremost. But I actually had a chance to rap with one of the homies, Philip, at his first single art gallery or art event. Chopped up about a lot of stuff. He's a pretty solid dude. So I was like, all right, they know each other. He gotta be a cool dude then. So
yeah. Phil is my guy, man. I rock with him, and I did some stuff for him too in the past, and I'm just happy to see where he at with his artwork, man, and it's just beautiful, bro. It's a big motivation and inspiration to me as well. You know what he doing. So shout out to Phil.
For sure, for sure. So, hey, if you don't mind, just go. We go ahead and give them a little bit of background about yourself. Where you from, and how does um are you? I know you're here in the city right now, but are you actually a Detroit native?
Yeah, I'm actually Detroit native, born and raised, man, and I grew up over on the east on like 94 Van Dyke and 94 area. Went to Kettering
Okay,
over there, and I moved out to the city for I'll say about a good 4 years. I moved up to like East Lansing area for a while. You know, when I was younger, just you know how it is, the college towns and stuff like that. But
facts, facts.
that's pretty much like I have been drawing and doing artwork my whole life, but up there is where I really got into the graphic design. Like I was going to a Full Sail. So I was up there, but I was going to Full Sail online. And they send you, for those that don't know, they send you like a computer and a Wacom tablet to get you started. So they sent me that stuff, and I was like, okay, but the classes I took was never art related. So what's this package of programs they sent me? I was like, man, let me look and see what's on here. So the first program I got into was ZBrush, and that's like how you do 3D sculpting and whatnot. So I started off doing that and was sculpting, but I just couldn't get it like right how I wanted it. And then when I did kind of hone in on it, it was no practical use for it because I didn't have a 3D printer. I wasn't doing like 3D animation and nothing like that. So I'm like, man, what else is on this computer? And I just so happened to open up Adobe Illustrator. When I opened that up, I was like, okay, what is this? What is Illustrator? I know it must be for illustrations. And once I opened that up, man, I just never, it's like I never closed that
Never
program.
look back.
No,
Man.
no, no.
So let
It's
me
like,
let me ask you this then, Mop, because you said that you went to school first, right?
mm-hmm,
So you
mm-hmm.
already had the skill sets. I'm assuming, right? You was already an artist. You could already draw and stuff, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So now, you know what I'm saying, where you at now, you've worked with brands such as Detroit versus Everybody. Man, I could go on for days, all the people that you've worked with, but how has that, helped you navigate, I would say like just self-starting yourself, like, like you just said, learning everything on your own, not really just waiting for a teacher, but just kind of teaching yourself. How did that help you navigate in the professional world? Because I think a lot of people think that you just have to go to school to be great, but it's like it can either, go either way. So how do you feel like, all of that helped you navigate?
Well, I think it helped me in a way where I did like you mentioned, I didn't have to wait on a teacher to teach me things, and that takes a lot of time. Especially if you're gonna go for a conventional degree like a bachelor's degree or anything like that, right? And then also how much it costs. So you starting off in debt, pretty much everybody knows that's the college model, right? But I was actually, so just to step back, I went to college at Bowling Green State my freshman year, and since I was always drawing, I was like, maybe I go to school for architecture because architects make a lot of money and they draw. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I thought. And when I actually got there, I realized that wasn't true, and I wasn't doing much drawing at all. So once I transitioned over to Full Sail, trying to do their graphics program, I didn't complete that either. So um I started just teaching myself everything. And at the time I had just finished teaching myself how to tattoo. So I was doing tattoos for my family, everybody, like I was doing tattoo parties and all that. So once I realized, okay, I can teach myself via YouTube how to tattoo, how to, just getting books and stuff, reading. I really started doing that with everything that I want to get into. Like even with NFTs, the 3D printing, illustration, animation, I'm a YouTube zombie. Like I go in and I mean tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. So to answer your question, I think it just primed me up to know that anything that I want to do, I can learn on my own. I don't have to pay for formal education. Like, and for those who do, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do. But just to let you know, you don't have to do that. Udemy, um, uh Domestika, all those sites like that, $10 tutorials, man. You pay $10 for a tutorial that can show you how to do something, and you can watch it at your own pace. You can pay $10 as opposed to this large tuition fee, and learn something tremendous. YouTube, it's so many resources on YouTube for free. You just gotta, man. A lot of people don't want to dedicate the time. You might see a tutorial that's an hour long, but watch that tutorial because that person is going to go in depth, and you can pause it, replay it. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna
I
be
just
real with
reset,
you, man. I'm both. I'm like a tutorial and a conventional. Like I gotta like have somebody over me to be like, hey,
yeah,
bro. Like I'm kind of both, man.
I would say I
completely.
would say the same thing. I'm a little bit of both. I went to school, I got my BFA and everything, but you know, I specialize in sculpture work and shoes and
Mhm.
custom kicks, and you know I learned how to do custom kicks from tutorials.
Hmm.
It was two people back then that I really used to watch. FBCC, Delvin Carter. He got his own Saya Collective. I don't know if y'all know about him, but he used to really deconstruct shoes, and I was scared to cut them. So I watched like 7,000 tutorials on how to cut shoes apart, and so I'm a living testament to what you mean by that. Um, Mopping, you got a real like a real that man. It's crazy. The Burger Boy NFT. It's fire, bro. That's fire. So I want to elaborate on that a little bit. What's the purpose? What's the purpose or goal of your work with that?
Well, I had done this artwork, the Burger Boys artwork, some years ago. Just man, I like to be completely honest, man. I was drawing. I was going to this space. I didn't have internet at my home at the time, so I was going down to a Cash Corridor to the block actually, and they used to have free Wi-Fi down there in like a little office space. So I would just go down there and draw all day and post because you know what I'm saying, I couldn't upload my artwork because I didn't have the internet. So I would just post stuff, post, and then go home for the day and be like, all right, that's all my posting today. I'll start back over tomorrow. So I was down there one day and I was like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go over to Hopcat and grab a burger. So I posted a burger in the car driving to Hopcat and like with some cats, and I was just like, okay, let me just go in on this topic, like cats and burgers. Like I don't know, a lot of people who follow me, they probably remember when I was doing that. And like once I transitioned over to NFTs, like probably like a year and a half, maybe about a year and a half ago, um I was like, what can I make an NFT of? I got some traditional, like some original artwork. I revived the Burger Boys, and then I did like some short animations. And then once I got the 3D printer, I pretty much did the same thing. Like, do I have anything original that I could start printing versus buying sculpts that people already sculpted and printing them? So I pretty much revived the Burger Boys again, sculpted them, and then once I saw how it came out on the printer and after it got painted, I was like, yo, maybe I can try to do like pretty much try to get in that cause lane, just some collectible, you know what I'm saying? Some tangible
Yeah.
collectibles. How
Hmm.
NFTs are. Those things are
Yeah.
non-fungible, non-tangible, but I just kind of
Yep.
wanted to revert back. Like, so that's pretty much
What
with that. I'm looking to do a pop-up with them soon, and people been liking it. People been giving me a good positive reset feedback on it. So I'm just looking to drop these and see what it do, man. And if it does good, then I'll continue doing it. But it's just something I'm having fun with right now.
So let me
I
ask you this,
definitely like how you.
my bad, V. Let
Oh,
me
go ahead.
ask. I want to just ask because it's like uh I've been, like I said, dealing with you in art for man some time, probably like the
Yeah,
past 8, 9 years. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like he did a lot of early artwork, you know what I'm saying, for people that I knew closely, myself. So I really just want to talk about how your work changed because I feel like your work changed significantly by the time that you got to Burger Boys. Like it was way more detailed by then. It was like you really
Mhm,
put in a lot of work with Illustrator, you know what I'm saying,
mhm,
leading up to Burger Boys. So that's why I really admire this project as a whole, because I'm like, nah, like I seen the evolution of where his artwork was to where it's at now. And it's like, nah, you got something special on your hands, man. So can you talk about like how your style kind of changed from what it was originally to how it is, today? Like, what were some of the key points that you would say?
I would say, I mean, a couple things. I would say one is just becoming more fluent in these programs and seeing what they're capable of. You know what I'm saying? Because when I first got started, you know, you limited on what you know a program can do. So you sit there with it and you explore at the level that you know it. But after testing out this tool and seeing what this can do, it changes your workflow. And then also, man, like I mentioned earlier, tutorials, bro. Like where I was at anytime I created artwork was where I had what I had taken in from tutorials and people showing actually how to do stuff and what to do and, you know, what's possible with the program. So just all of that culminating and just getting comfortable and looking at what other creators create. That's one of my biggest inspirations is just watching what other people produce, because it just motivates you. Like, you know how it is. Like I gotta either be on that level or past that level. I can't if people putting out this type of work, I can't falter below that. You know
I
so,
definitely understand.
So let me ask you this. Knowing that you work with the 3D printer, I take it all of the burger banks and the burger boys are hand painted, correct?
So basically, like you see right here in my picture, that tan or that brown, that's a spray paint base coat, and or like you see right here at the burger boy that's right behind my head, that's a light blue spray paint base coat, because I try to minimize how much painting I have to do. And since his jeans are light blue, I would go in, spray paint his whole body light blue, and then just paint on top of everything else. Same with the burger. These burgers, as you see this one over here, it's all brown, so that I don't have to go in and just paint the buns by hand because it's such a large surface area. So I'll go ahead and lay that base coat down, and then I'll hand paint all the fine details. Like, you know,
that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Just so overall in your whole project, what have critics said, you know, about your work and your projects?
Man, they just been giving me nothing but positive feedback. And I think you know, I think this is just my opinion. I'm not 100% sure on this, but it's a lot of untapped markets in the city, like in Detroit City to be specific, because, you know, we are a product of what we're around. So I know a couple other artists that have gotten into the 3D printing space, but it's only a few of us that's like trying to really make noise with it. I'll shout out people like Jimbo and Art Nuts, you know what I'm saying? They doing their 3D printing thing. And I actually talk with both of them, and we want to do something together if we can. But I think, and this is just my opinion, no disrespect to anybody else, but how far I have gone with it as far as taking these original ideas, sculpting them, painting them, then actually creating the boxes on my own by hand with my own designs, structuring it all together, and then shrink wrapping it. It just gives it that professional look that I did not have to go to a professional company for. I've done all of it out of my own office. And I think a lot of people are impressed by that merely, let alone the artwork and how clean the painting is. But those are some of the things people have been saying is like, wow, you did the boxes too? Like, yeah. You did the painting too? Like, yeah. So I think it's like a wow factor that all of this stuff can be done by one person. You don't have, and like I always tell people, you know, cut time if you got the funds to be able to cut time. I was going the main reason why I ended up starting to print and paint on my own, because I was reaching out to Fiverr people and seeing how much it was going to cost to do printing. And I'm like, yo, like how like the margin for that is so low, and the time you got to wait for them to ship it and you know. And I was like, okay, let me take that funds and get my own printer. Same with the boxes. I was gonna when I first did the first Burger Boy, which is Rozzy, this one that's brown, I painted them, and I was like, okay, let me get a box for him. And I said, you know, if I'm gonna print more than one, I'm gonna need more than one box. And the company wanted to charge me an extra $100 per box design on top of the $700 they was gonna charge me for, I believe, 100 boxes. Now, $700 for 100 boxes, $7 a box. But when you think about it, I have to pay an extra $100 for every single figure I create. So now I'm like, let me take that $700 and buy my own printer, buy my own box material, and print it myself. Now I can print any If I come up with a new character tomorrow, I can make the box now because I don't have to pay an extra $100 for them to create the box. So in short, bro, if you're thinking about doing something, you can do all of it. But if you want to save some time, outsource. It's cool outsourcing. But I'm like, me, Chris.
I love it, man. That's why
hey.
I love to see how everybody, what I'm saying, works. And that's what, like you just said, like the motivation that, you give me, like you said, you're motivated by other creators. So am I, what I'm saying? That's why I always keep that handle on people that I know is doing stuff where I'm like, nah, bro, like, let me check back in with my bro, see what he been on. I'm like, okay, nah, the Burger Boys is crazy. I didn't know that you was creating the boxes. Now that kind of took me a little bit like, okay, like, damn, you creating your boxes too now. Okay.
Yeah,
But
he in his own lane with
no,
that.
you definitely, man, are in your own world, bro. And I think that's really what a lot of people need to see. And that's why we want more people like you, you know what I'm saying, to get the respect and the credit y'all deserve, man, because that's dope, bro. That takes a lot of discipline, and a lot of people don't got that kind of discipline in time, bro. So I definitely tip my hat off to you, bro, for real, for real.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
But let me ask you this, man, because you are a multifaceted dude, man. So I don't want to put you in the box since we talking about boxes. But what's your dream project, man? Like, tell me, like, in the head of Mop, man, what goes on, man? Like, what is your dream project?
Man, it changes every day, man. Like, to be completely honest, like, I'm just being honest. Like, I actually just I just bought a camera. I just bought a nice little camera to shoot some videos and stuff. So I've been shooting videos and doing my own promo stuff. So it's like I teeter, man. Like someday I want to make an animated series. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that at some point. But then I also want people to have my figurines on their desk. I want to do a life-size version of Rozzy or Chacho or a burger somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that as well. I also want to shoot videos for people. So it's, it changes. I can't really say I have a dream project per se, but I do have some projects that I really want to do. And pretty soon here, I'm working on a big project for somebody that I can't really talk about. But once that's done, I'm going to go in and start animating the Burger Boys because I just got really heavy into Adobe Character Animate. And I'm going to put my characters in there and animate them. But that stuff takes a lot of time too. So
yeah,
but I do want to do it and I'm going to do it. But when soon is all I can say. But with these projects, doing these big projects, man, it takes a lot of time, but I want to do all of them. So I can't really answer with just one, man. Can't answer with just one.
No, I mean, all of your projects.
It sounds like there's some, my bad, man.
Go ahead,
but it sounds like there's some space for for Rozzy and Milo to become friends, man. I mean, that's all I'm saying, bro.
For sure.
That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, I really like how you. We didn't really hit on this part, but I really like how you made the burger bank and kind of nostalgic for, hey, like saving it up. You got just enough space to get you a burger if you save it up right. And coming from Detroit, we always trying to figure out how to make our next dollar. And sometimes making that next dollar is just to be able to get a burger and some fries,
Yeah.
So
Facts. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because everything I do, I try my best to put like a different spin on it. And it was like, okay, you probably can get a burger bank at a dollar store. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen it.
I've never seen a burger bank, bro. That was genius, man. It was genius.
I took my family to so we usually go to a place over on the east called Original Pancake House, one of the best breakfast places in Detroit. Well, it's in Grosse Pointe, but in Detroit Metro for those of y'all who like breakfast. But we went over there one day and they was closed. So I was forced to go down the street to Big Boy, even though I didn't want to. And we went over there and I bought my son. They had a Big Boy coin bank. It was just Big Boy with the burger and he had a coin slot. And I was like, how do I make my bank different from that? So like you mentioned, save up for a burger. Once you fill it up, for a fact you can at least get a burger, meal, and a drink or a shake. Like,
that's dope, man.
Facts.
Now let me branch off into our next segment, man. Since we talking about food, man, we talking about eating. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this next segment, man, is bearish or bullish. Now we ask our guests, you either bearish or you're bullish. Now we just gonna name drop a few, and you tell us if you're bearish or you're bullish. You can elaborate in depth if you want to. If you don't, it's no
Okay.
big deal. But
Okay.
are you bearish or bullish right now on crypto?
Man, I am bearish, man. Like, because man, I came up like I was in NFTs during the golden era. Like I had a bored ape, a mutant ape. I sold them when they was high. You know what I'm saying? At that high number. Like,
Mm,
that high. So I just feel like that era is gone. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like I did my own project as well. Lemur NFT. We sold about 1,700 of them at 0.08 ETH, and that was great. We didn't sell out, but that was good for me because I didn't think I was going to sell any. But I just feel like now with crypto and NFTs, it's so hard to get people sold on a certain project. Like it's just, man, you got to have all this roadmap marketing team, and it wasn't about that when I first got in it. It was like
yeah.
artwork, people, traditional artists getting to just do their reserve in the art world by being able to make some good money by creating. And right now, I just feel like that has gone away with how many people are in the space now and how many projects may have failed, quote unquote, even though it's about the art for me. So I'm bearish on crypto right now, man. Bearish.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense though. I mean, I definitely can agree with that. I feel like uh a year and a half ago, even before then, was definitely a golden era to really get into space and grab some good NFTs. But now it's gotten a bad reputation with everything kind of collapsing right now. So I could definitely attest to that.
Yeah. Pray go back though, because that was a great time, man, especially for artists, man.
But
Great.
I definitely think the post COVID had a lot to do with it too. I think that's what
Agreed.
really made a lot of people go into those spaces was like the COVID and all of that. It was like we was forced to be in the house. So it was like, okay, let's go into this, you know what I'm saying,
Let's
this
go into
dungeon
this
of
different.
it
Yeah,
was
we
like
gotta go
that's
into
why
the deepest parts and just make some. It's like that. It's like when
yeah.
you a kid and you ain't got nothing to do at home. So you
Yeah.
gotta figure something out, bro.
And then
You
too,
gotta figure something out.
at that time, Clubhouse was really big, man. And
Yeah.
from my experience, like Clubhouse did a lot for the NFT and crypto space because you had people every day, all day for hours talking about these projects and hyping them up. I can speak specifically on Bored Apes. My dude Taylor, he had purchased. I did a project called Garden Ladies, and he bought one for like $1,500. He bid on it, and that was the most money I ever made in crypto. And I was like, wow. And he told me, hey man, get some Bored Apes or get one at least. So I was like, oh, I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. I got one. And if I knew what I knew today, I would have got 10 of them or 20 of them at the time. But I
Mm-hmm.
got one, and it was because I'm in Clubhouse listening to these guys who know about NFTs saying, hey, get this project, grab this. And even after Bored Ape sold out, it was the community of people in Clubhouse talking about it that I feel made it big. I mean, bro, you wouldn't believe it was groups of hundreds of people in a Clubhouse saying, okay, let's go to this random Clubhouse room and make monkey noises. So I'm following these people, and once they get to these clubhouses, they tacking on an extra 50 people from each clubhouse room they jumping in who are interested in this project. And I feel like that's one of the things that made it big, is that you had a dedicated space where people were talking about NFTs. And now with Twitter Spaces and all these other platforms, you can do kind of like the Clubhouse platform. It kind of broke up that togetherness that people had in Clubhouse talking about these things. So
So
that's just
we
my
so we kind of hit on something. We kind of hit on something a little bit earlier about good hype and bad hype, kind of just depending on you know what the project is kind of centered on. So, just in
Mhm.
your opinion, I gotta ask you this question: do you feel like that was good hype or bad hype?
I feel like it was great hype, man, because at the time, like I ended up getting my board ape for 0.16 ETH,
Oh,
and
that's
that was
amazing.
like that was nothing at the time. You know what I'm saying? And all of that, like with all of that going on, the price of it it kept going up and kept going up, and it did not look back. You know what I'm saying? It did not look back for a long time. And I feel like that was because you had derivative artists making derivatives, selling them, and you had people doing their own IP with it. And it was just big. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like all of that was great. All of that was great for the project. And that was like the first project that I saw that had that type of momentum with people talking about it and sharing it, and, you know, like that.
I got you. I got you.
Now, with that being said, would you consider yourself bullish or bearish on NFTs right now? To conclude.
Oh yeah, bears for the same reason. You know, I have and I would show it, but I had to pull it up. I do have a Burger Boys NFT. It's called Burger Boys in France. So it has.
Oh no, we gonna post it right here on them forums to see. They gonna be able to see it on here. So we definitely got you.
Well, I don't have. It's not up. It's not like I haven't. I just have the artwork, and the reason why I even brought that up is because I got the artwork. I have all my traits and everything, and my guys who they did the back end on my lemur, like shout out to Metivate .io. They did all my coding and contract and stuff like that, and they've been waiting. They're like, yo, when we gonna do it? But we both agree that, man, you got to have so much marketing pre-drop that it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of, what I'm doing with the figures is kind of doing that to generate some buzz around it. But I did all of the artwork and just stopped right there. I haven't even did the random generations yet, just because it's like, I don't want to fail with a drop. I don't want to drop something with 3,000 or 1,000 and sell one. Like I have a fear of that. So I feel like I'm bearish right now until, with an exception, I'm bearish until I do my marketing run and promo and get it up, and then I'll try it again, so to speak.
Okay. Now, what about the metaverse? Are we bearish or bullish on that?
Oh man, I'm bullish on that, because you don't, in my opinion, you don't necessarily have to have a project coming out. Like, it's a lot of stuff that's happening in the metaverse. And, you know, I'll say this, hey, Chris, you know how I am in terms of my belief system, which is on the fence about this whole metaverse thing. But as far as the metaverse in whole and what it can do for technology and art, I'm bullish on it, just because it's a lot of like, it's the possibilities are endless. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And then even with me getting into the 3D sculpting space, or back into it, like, it's a lot that you can do with that if you tap in, you know. So I'm bullish on that.
Okay. Now on this last one, I mean, I talk to a lot of people, you know, that's into different kinds of investments. So I'm gonna ask you this. I mean, you don't really got to go in too depth on it, but are you bearish or bullish on stocks? There's a lot of people like, man, stocks is the OG, but I'm like, how you feel about stocks?
You know, I say bearish on stocks just because, man, and this is no knock to anybody, but I never invested in stocks just because I didn't have, like, I wasn't interested, to be honest. And a lot of like, coming up, bro, like, I didn't have a lot of like older people in my family like establishing financial literacy or saying like you should invest or anything like that. So I never really paid any attention. And to be completely honest, once I got into the NFT market and crypto, that was the most money I had ever made in life doing any type of investment. So, you know, with that, if crypto makes a comeback, I'll be bullish on that versus stocks any day, just because I feel like they both can be controlled, but I feel like with crypto, it's a little bit more free. Like, you know, it's a little bit more free world versus stocks, you know, and that's just my opinion. But
yeah,
some people, you know, they swear by them. So,
you know, you got a lot of people who like subscribe to Warren Buffett, you know, and people like that, and they're not gonna really buy into, you know, the new investments like NFTs, crypto, until people like, you know, Warren Buffett and the likes start really advocating for it. So that's why I asked that question, because stocks is like the old man's game, you know. And
you know, you always got to adapt. You
always, yeah.
Like,
and then a lot of the Web 2 companies, you know, like Facebook and all of these companies, they're like really stock-based companies, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I really like to even still just ask people, you know what I'm saying, just to get their insight. Because I feel like when we talk about Web3, people think that Web3 is just going to be like some mass adoption so fast. And it's like, now look how long it took people to jump into Web2. You know, so with Web3 is definitely going to liberate, creatives like ourselves, but it's going to still come, with some education and time. So
absolutely. And it's going to come with like sacrifice, and it's going to be like, the Web2 people going to have the biggest temper tantrum they ever had, but it's going to over, to Web3. And what I'll say, if anybody looking to get into Web3, start now. I tell people, like, I got the long locks. I tell people the same thing with locks. They always say, I don't want to go through the ugly stage. And this, I say, look, the sooner you get started, you on that path and they'll grow. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with anything you get into. And I use that analogy with Web3 because break into it, get some experience in the space so that if and when it comes back and makes that big comeback and takes over, you already have some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? And you're not trying to jump on late with everybody else. You already got some footwork in the game.
Yeah.
And it just falls back to what we've been talking about, man. Education is key. One thing that I will say about majority of the people in this world, we're scared of adaptation. We talk about it, or it makes us nervous because it's something that's different, but you got to jump in there. You don't know what's going to happen if you don't jump in there.
That's true. That's true, bro. And, I look at like this, and, this is just something that I live by. Anything that I'm afraid to do, I need to be trying to do that ASAP so that I can, one, overcome that fear, and two, break into something new and different that, I want to make I don't want to be scared of anything. So if I'm scared of something, let me face it head on. So it's the same thing with Web3. Jump into it and see what it's all about. And I'm sure a lot of people will, if they make the analogy to that of anything that they ever got into in life, they'll realize that all you got to do is take a step, experience it. And if after you experience it, you really realize like, yeah, it's not for me, that is more respectable than never having tried it at all. You know what I'm saying? And make determination.
That's facts. So to leave them with a last point, that's something that we are very, eager with, is making sure that people have the resources and the insight to know what's going on within this space and not being scared. You know what I'm saying? Giving people that welcoming vibe to be like, hey, you may hear some buzzwords, but don't be afraid of those buzzwords because you don't know what they mean. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that like kind of keep people on the outside too, is that, I don't know what this means. What is DeFi? What is, what I'm saying? All of these words. And it's like, bro, it's not, rocket science or nothing like that. So I just want to ask you this last point before we, close this interview. What do you feel like is the main thing that people who probably are following you need to adapt in order to, keep up with Moped moving forward? Because as an artist, man, like you're evolving, how you are now implementing your art is evolving too. So how does that, look for people who want to keep up, with following you, and supporting you?
For now, I would say just, continue to follow my social media. I'm back on Twitter. Well, actually, NFTs got me back on Twitter. So Twitter and Facebook, I'm looking to update my website here soon, but pretty much just follow me in those realms. I haven't had a lot of time to work on my website, but either way it goes, I'm going to be posting my work or what I'm working on either one of those. So mostly when I'm in my NFT bag, you will see me on Twitter. And you'll see me talking about it on there. And anything that's more textile and like tangible is for my Instagram. But I kind of cross them sometimes. So just stay following me on Twitter and Instagram, and that's where you will see it happening.
And Twitter making a comeback, man. I love the way Twitter. I ain't gonna say they making a comeback, but like they letting people know like we ain't went nowhere. Y'all went somewhere, but we didn't.
Yeah. You can't really talk on these other platforms like Twitter. You can get in the bag and talk and have some conversation with people, and then when with them adding the spaces, that just took it to another level too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anything I tell people when they ask me about crypto or NFTs, I say, bro, are you on Twitter? Like, you got to get on Twitter because that's where they're talking about it at. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's the platform that has the most information about crypto and NFTs as far as social media goes.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Because now they've, implemented, putting the collectibles on all of the platforms since Twitter did it. Now you could do it on Facebook. Now you could do it on Instagram. So Twitter is definitely being led into, a future innovation. And I definitely see them, being right along there with Reddit is people that's going to lead people into Web3, giving those creators that, that push into Web3. So I definitely see that happening with Twitter and Reddit.
Oh yeah.
But man, it was definitely, bro, a pleasure, man, bringing you on, man. Hey, can people buy the Burger Boys burger banks right now? Is that up for sale or is that coming soon?
Not right, not yet. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do like a pre-order. I really want to keep it fair and do a pop-up. And hey, I'm looking at Hopcat as a potential place, just because that's where the idea started, and I want to kind of treat the first 10 customers to a burger. You know what I'm saying? If I can, so I that's the plan, that's the goal, and I really want it to be kind of like pop up and see me, and if you're there, you get in, and I don't really want to do a pre-order thing like, and then I gotta kind of track all that down. I want to pop up with the bag, meet me over here, get a burger, grab a Burger Boy or a bank, and that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Man, well, you can definitely count ABM to be there. We definitely,
oh yeah, we in that.
We definitely gonna show some love, man. I definitely want to cop one of those burger banks for both my children as well. But yeah, man,
I need 5
definitely. Yeah. See, I ain't that deep. I ain't that deep in the bag. I just need 3. That's it.
That's the only lead 2 left, bro. So that means I'm gonna be there with 5. You're gonna be there with 3.
Right. No, man, hey, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I have fun talking with y'all, and it was great experience.
Man.
Oh yeah, man. We appreciate you giving us your time, man. We listen. It's all love. It's all love here. Everybody, each and every one of us is from the city. Even though Christop's over there getting that good weather now.
Oh yeah, I'm in Cali right now, but no, we definitely about to bring it back to the D real soon, man. So be on the lookout.
You can see the Cali on them. Look at
you said you can see it.
You can see it on them. You can see it on them.
Hey man, when y'all boys get a chance, I told V, man, my doors are always open, man. Whenever y'all want to come out here and get some of that sunshine, man. So hey, let's stay in touch, though. But you definitely gonna see more coming from aboard Milo, and be on the lookout, man, for
let's link in.
Burger Boys. So no, we gonna do something, man. We definitely gonna do something.
Okay.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. You definitely inspired me. I've been on the fence about getting a 3D printer myself, but you know what?
Get one.
I'm gonna get one.
Get one. It'll open up your creativity on what you